Hello Nigeria, top of the Sunday to you. I am Becky Madajemu. Welcome to Newsline. Hope you had a great week. I know the Salah made it extra nice for all of us. Everyone loves a holiday, especially when there's something to celebrate. We are bringing to your doorsteps the showstoppers that characterize some towns and cities during the festival. Apart from the echoes of the recent Salah, you will have the pleasure of watching high-powered events, including weddings and birthday parties. Meanwhile, if you have been following the news, you must have heard about a 4-year-old girl who was declared missing last month and how she was found in another town. Watch out for that story. Then social media and relationships. Would you shut down for your spouse? Could you? Would you? Should you? The replies are everything and more. Let's now pause for the news. Can't wait to unveil the details after Joy Osiago is done. Happy Sunday, Joy.
Happy Sunday, Becky, and I'm waiting to hear what you have to say concerning that story on social media. A very good evening to you and thanks for joining us. President Muhammadu Buhari has spoken of the need to subject the rule of law to the supremacy of the nation's security and national interest. Speaking at the opening of the 2018 Annual General Conference of the Nigerian Bar Association, the president says law can only be practiced optimally in a safe, secure and prosperous Nigeria. State House correspondent Adamu Sambu has details.
58 in its series, the 2018 Annual Conference of the Nigerian Bar Association, which brought together over 10,000 participants, represents the largest single gathering of lawyers anywhere in the world. And this provided the opportunity for President Muhammadu Buhari to strongly make a case for lawyers to at all times put the national interest and professional ethics above self in the conduct of their business. He said given the enormity of the challenges inherited, his administration had to adopt a new way of running national affairs, replacing impunity in the nation's resource management with a culture of transparency and accountability, as well as deploying critical assets towards addressing common needs rather than what he called the greed of a callous few.
While we have made appreciable progress in several sectors, including public awareness of the need to challenge the corrupt and the brazen in our midst, we have also learned useful lessons on the dynamism of our society. However, elements within every society, including some lawyers, can equally become unduly resistant to change, even where it is proven that such change is to serve interests of the larger society. At worst, corruption fights back.
The president therefore urged the conference to work towards upholding and improving the sanctity and integrity of the nation's judiciary by holding people accountable for offenses against society, as well as enhancing access of the poor and the less privileged to justice.
Rule of law must be subject to the supremacy of the nation's security and the national interest. Where national security and public interest are threatened, or there is a likelihood of their being threatened, the individual rights of those allegedly responsible must take second place in favor of the greater good of society.
The president said as Nigeria moves into another season of intense political activities, lawyers have a responsibility to work for national cohesion and unity through their speeches, public positions, and advocacy in the law courts. Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Walter Onogen, and the Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, delivered goodwill messages.
In less than a year from today, Nigeria will be conducting her general elections into the executive and legislative arms of government at federal and state levels. The bar must partner with key stakeholders to ensure that eligible members of the public conduct themselves lawfully.
We have commenced a process of demonstrating that the law can truly apply to all and that the society can insist on accountability where infractions have occurred. As a nation, our journey to an era of the supremacy of the law is now irreversible.
The president of the Nigerian Bar Association, Abubakar Mahamoud, spoke extensively on the theme of the conference, transition, transformation, and sustainable institutions, which he described as timely and appropriate as Nigeria embarks on a transformative journey towards stability and prosperity.
We are convinced that our huge potential, either as a country or indeed as a continent, cannot be unleashed until we overcome the challenge of institution building.
President Nana Akufo-Addo of Ghana is expected to deliver a keynote address at the conference on Monday. In Abuja, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
More than 6,000 internally displaced persons have returned home in Zamfara State. The Acting Director, Defense Information, Brigadier General John Agim, stated this in Gusau while addressing newsmen on the progress made so far by Operation Sharandaji. Correspondent Zarau Musa reports.
Security situation in Zamfara State was characterized by wanton killings, kidnappings for ransom, cattle rustling and armed robberies, which made life difficult for the citizens. Other security threats were imposition of levies on villages by bandits, harassment of farmers from their farmlands, and disruption of weekly market across the state. With the inauguration of Sharandaji in July this year, things started to change for the good. Briefing newsmen on the achievements so far, Brigadier General John Agim said his troops have succeeded in dominating most of the areas occupied by the bandits, thereby creating conducive atmosphere for the civilian populace to live their normal lives. He also said Air Force has recently launched offensive that facilitated in neutralizing large number of armed bandits and destroying their camps. Some of the recoveries made during the operations includes over 20 sophisticated arms and ammunition, along with some dangerous local weapons. 3 kidnapped victims were rescued alongside over 500,000 naira as ransom from the kidnappers.
Robust patrols and armed escort around vulnerable villages and weekly local markets have built confidence in the community so that bandits no longer have freedom of actions, where they impose levies and harass traders.
Brigadier General Agim also stated that Zamfara State, which was bedeviled by insecurity, is now assured of safety of lives and property. In a bid to provide succor to victims of banditry, Operation Sharandaji has concluded plans to execute programs that will impact positively on the lives of the locals, which include sinking of boreholes, renovation of schools and hospitals, among others. General Agim called on people of the state to cooperate with Operation Sharandaji by giving them useful information about the criminals. He, however, decried of poor terrain and communication gaps as some of their challenges. Ngusau, Zara Omusa, NTA News.
In the meantime, farming in northern Borno State has received a boost following donation of tractors by the Nigerian Army. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Yusuf Buratai, represented by the Chief of Training and Operations, Major General Lamidi Adeoshun, said the gesture is part of Army civil-military relations. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa has details.
Alimodu Gubio is one among thousands of internally displaced persons that have returned to their ancestral homes, courtesy of Operation Last Hold, conducted by the Nigerian Army to secure the return of IDPs in northern Borno and to facilitate the resumption of socio-economic activities. Farming is the predominant occupation of the people of this area. Access to modern farming implements like tractors, Alimodu Gubio says, will upscale their farming activities. It is in this regard the Nigerian Army is donating these 2 tractors to encourage farmers and promote agriculture.
The army is not only fighting using weapons, the army is also interested in making the community to rediscover themselves, to continue to pick up the pieces of their life and to be able to live their normal life in their own ancestral homes again.
The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Yusuf Buratai, had earlier presented 3 tractors to farmers in Guzamala local government area of Borno State during the 2018 Nigerian Army Day celebration.
We expect that the community will go back fully and commit themselves in their own activities of farming, and at the same time too they will be able to give us the necessary information.
This is a key element of the defeat of insurgency.
In this state, the north is one of the most affected area, and also today the farming activities in the area is very sufficient.
From Maiduguri, Borno State, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
And for a bit on the polity, the All Progressives Congress APC says the attention of the party has been drawn to a purported membership registration website of the party trending on social media, describing it as unauthorized and a scam. A statement by the National Publicity Secretary of the APC, Yekini Nabena, stated that the fake website is reportedly sponsored by one of the main opposition political parties. The statement urged the teaming supporters and members to take advantage of the ongoing continuous nationwide membership registration exercise in all states and the Federal Capital Territory to register as fresh members or revalidation of existing membership to get the party's permanent membership cards. Still staying with the APC, the All Progressives Congress APC has urged the electorate to resist desperate politicians and the political parties' beat on deploying illegal, undemocratic and sinister means, including violence, to manipulate the 2019 general elections. A statement signed by the National Publicity Secretary of the party, Yekini Nabena, says this is against the backdrop of the recent seizure of Nigerian-bound ship detained in South Africa for carrying arms and explosives. The statement says this is a red flag that security agencies must note and be alert to as political activities heighten in the lead up to the coming elections. The APC urges the opposition to wake up to new realities where votes count and the people's will prevail in elections. It also admonishes all well-meaning Nigerians to support ongoing progressive efforts by the President Buhari-led APC administration to ensure that elections are transparent, free, fair and credible. More than 25,000 additional poor and vulnerable households in Kano State have been enrolled into the conditional cash transfer program embarked upon by the federal government. That's brought the number of beneficiaries from 19 to 40,000. Muhammad Rabiu Aliyu reports that the team of enumerators went round the selected areas under the program to register the beneficiaries.
The Conditional Cash Transfer Program, which commenced 2 years ago, is part of President Muhammadu Buhari's campaign promise in 2015 to assist vulnerable and poor persons in the society. In Kano, out of the 44 local government areas of the state, 15 were selected for pilot scheme. From November 2017 to June 2018, 19,088 vulnerable households have benefited from 10,000 naira each cash transfer. The additional of 25,359 households were so far enrolled in the state. NTA News visited Kamfewa and Zangunkudu villages in Garumala local government area where the beneficiaries were captured for the exercise. Aisha Sani Gezawa is the head unit of the program in Kano State.
During the first enrollment, Garumalan were able to enroll only 43 beneficiaries that are benefiting from this program. But with the current development that we see from NASCO, the total number of the households in this local government is 2,900 and 754 are poor and vulnerable households. And we thank the national coordinator because it is with high effort that we were able to rise to this level.
Earlier, 170 facilitators were trained on modern techniques to carry out the re-enrollment exercise successfully. From Kano, Muhammad Rabi Ali, NTA News.
And still focusing on the dividends of the APC administration, the third mainland bridge closed on August 24th for integrity test has opened following completion of the test. However, details of the test results are expected in 4 weeks. Here's Paul Omokugba with the details.
Rounds to Lagosians and Nigerians are starting from 5 o'clock today. The bridge is open and they're welcome to use it.
That was the Lagos State Commissioner for Transportation confirming the opening of the bridge to traffic. The integrity test on the bridge focused on expansion joints, the base, and other structural aspects. Officials of the Federal Ministry of Power, Works and Housing and the Lagos State government expressed satisfaction on the initial test, preparatory to full-scale maintenance after analysis of the test result.
For the 3 days operations that started on Friday, 24th of August, we have successfully completed the test.
Is he going to do further tests on the underground, the piers and the pike caps?
It just demonstrates what is possible when the different organs and agencies of government work together.
Security officials from the police, Federal Road Safety Corps, and the motoring public shared their experiences during the period of the closure.
This time around, we had people complying. They're even willing to give a helping hand.
All the strategies put in place worked in our favor.
As soon as they closed here, everywhere was totally locked up. So thank God that they opened this place today.
When we heard it that the road will open by 5 o'clock, at least everybody was very excited.
NTA News was at the Adeniji-Adele junction at 5 p.m. when the bridge was opened to traffic. Traffic within Lagos metropolis, especially on the Lagos Island, was light today compared to yesterday. The motoring public can now use the third mainland bridge. In Lagos, Paul Omukagu, NTA News.
We're not done with the dividends of democracy. The federal government has restated its determination to address infrastructural deficit, especially road networks, so as to stimulate economic growth and development. Riyanu Bala reports that the Minister of State, Power, Works and Housing, Mustafa Baba Shehuri, said this at the flag-off of rehabilitation work on Mayo Bilwa Jada Tungo Road.
The 112-kilometer Mayo-Belwa-Jada Ganye Tongo Road that has been neglected for years has exposed people of the area to a lot of difficulty, thereby affecting their socio-economic well-being. The flag-off of the rehabilitation work, which is to cost over 22 billion naira with completion period of 36 months, has rekindled the hope of the people of safety of their lives on the road. The Minister of State, Power, Works and Housing, Mustafa Baba Shehuri, said it is one of the mandates of the present administration to ensure people have access to their farms and economic activities improved, hence the construction and rehabilitation of roads across the country.
It is also expected to tremendously improve the socio-economic well-being of the people, generate employment opportunity for both skilled and unskilled labor.
In 1996, Buhari a matsayinsa na chairman na PTF ya ba da gyaran hanyar nan. Yau shekara 22 ba a sake komai akan wannan hanya ba.
Governor Muhammad Umar Jibrilla and representatives of people in the area thanked President Muhammadu Buhari for considering the road for rehabilitation, which is strategic to the development of the state. In Yola, Rayanu Bala, NTA News.
The Plateau State Police Command has confirmed the attack on the Jos University Teaching Hospital, Gate 4, Zarasang in Jos East, which claimed 2 lives and left 2 with different degrees of injury. Abdulwahab Babakoti reports.
In a press statement signed by the PPRO, DSP Matthias Tiopev, the command received a call on 25th of August 2018 at about 9:30 to 10 p.m. to the effect that there was sporadic gunshot at the gate of Jude, which left Azim Magaji, driver to the Speaker of the Plateau State House of Assembly, and Edward Angpa Titus, a security guard with Jude, dead. Some of the victims who survived narrated that 3 of them were at their duty post when 2 unidentified persons bearing guns approached them and shot at them indiscriminately, which left them with serious injuries.
They just opened fire from nowhere, and all of us were confused.
We just saw 2 people coming in towards us, to face us. Then unfortunately, we are just looking at them. They didn't say anything. They didn't even say any word. They just started shooting at us.
The Chief Medical Director of Jude, Professor Edmond Banwat, decried the unfortunate incident and urged the security personnel to unravel the perpetrators.
The other two security men that are alive are receiving treatment and they are stable. Right now, one is being operated upon in the theater because he sustained soft tissue injury, which is being operated upon. The other one is also stable. But unfortunately, the driver of a vehicle that was trying to come into the hospital lost his life, and one of our security men also lost his life.
This is the second time the hospital experiencing such an attack, as it can be recalled a similar incident occurred in 2012. In Jos, Abdullah Babankanti, NTA News.
The airlift of Nigerian pilgrims from Saudi Arabia back home is scheduled to commence on Monday, 27th of August 2018. This followed a meeting convened by the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria with 2018 Hajj airline carriers in Jeddah. Musa Abubakar reports.
Our coordination has to be.
This meeting between National Hajj Commission and Hajj Air Carriers is preparatory to the last phase of the 2018 Hajj exercise, homeward bound of Nigerian pilgrims from the Holy Land. Effective administration and management of baggage, timely delivery of Zamzam water, and the manner of airlift within designated time frame tops the agenda.
We intend to start our operations on the 27th of August, and we will steadily increase the volume of pilgrims that are transported on a regular basis, on a daily basis, and we intend to finish within 3 weeks.
And we will, our plan to dispatch the baggage 14 hours before departure, to be at the airport by 12 hours.
We have the tradition of fast come, fast to go. That is to say, earlier pilgrims that arrived into the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia would now go before those ones that came later.
We were confident with the assurances they have given.
Meanwhile, head of Nigeria and other countries' Hajj missions were bidded farewell by the Saudi Arabia's Minister of Hajj and Umrah, Mohammed Saleh bin Tayer, after a successful Hajj exercise. From Mecca in Saudi Arabia, I am Musa Abubakar, NTA News.
Talking sports now, Nigeria's female volleyball team set for the 2018 Women's Under-20 Nations Championship holding in Nairobi, Kenya, and Cowrie Rugby Club, Lagos, emerged champions of Southwest Division 1 National Rugby Football League. Gift George has details on Sports Update. Thank you, Gift. Now, a quick look at the weather picture across the country.
Hello and welcome. The past couple of days has been on the busy side of rainy days, as we've been experiencing continuous rainfall activities over almost every part of the country. And I'm sure that most of us are looking forward to relaxation in rains, especially here in Abuja. And here it is for Monday morning. We expect a bit of respite of activities over most places in the country. where the north are likely to be predominantly cloudy in the morning, with prospects of thunderstorms over parts of Kano, Potiskum, and Nguru axis, some parts of Kebbi and Sokoto axis. Moderate rains are also anticipated over parts of Bauchi, Jos, Gombe, and Taraba. The southeast coast are likely to witness these rains as well, while most places are expected to be fine in the morning. Further into the day, we expect more intensity of thunderstorms over the north and intermittent precipitations across the central and the southern region in the afternoon into late evening period. Here's the temperature forecast. Thank you for watching. I am Joyce Ogunleye.
Let's take a short break now, but Becky will be back after these messages. She has interesting stories for you. Stay with us.
Thanks for staying on the line. The age-long Durbar in Kano is a major part of the Salah celebration. This year's celebration was conducted in a spectacular way with the display of royalty. Mohammed Rabiu Ali, who was at the southern gate of the Emir's palace, reports on the Durbar.
These are sights and sounds of the long-age Hawan Doshe in Kano, which usually comes a day after Salah celebration. It is a tradition for governor to pay homage to the emir. District heads and other traditional title holders march to the Southern Gate arena with colorful and well-dressed horses in procession. The 2018 Hawan Doshe was quite interesting with a favorable atmosphere. Emir Muhammad Sunusi II observed his 5th annual Doshe Durbar on a she camel, a tradition his grandfather was known for. Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje and other dignitaries from within and outside the country were happy with a spectacular display by horse riders.
It's really wonderful to be here, and we are enjoying immensely this incredible show of cultural heritage, of religious wisdom that we see exposed here.
I sent so many pictures to video to the world, from United States to Russia. They said we should come and see this one.
This is the highest concentration of horses in the world. That is why many dignitaries all over the world are converging here in order to witness this very important occasion.
With the experience we have today in Kano and with the interest of His Highness, we now apply that we will now observe the yearly Festac celebration with Durbar in Kano.
Very colorful, and just you see it in Kano, all these nice colors and beautiful riding horses. I really enjoy it.
And from Bidda, Niger State, the Eid el-Kabir celebration was rounded off with a fiesta of music and dances. The royal horse ride, known as Bariki, added spice to the spectacular event. Jones Ajayi, who was among spectators, reports.
Special cultural fiesta to round off the Eid el-Kabir celebrations climaxed with the Etunupe Alhaji Yaya Abubakar himself on horseback, specially decorated, that he rode around designated traditional routes within Bida metropolis. Directly following the Etunupe's royal procession are several district heads, traditional title holders, including princes from the 3 ruling houses of Bidda Emirate. At occasions like this, horses are given special attention and recognition. Amongst the title holders, one person that occupies a special place at occasions like this is the Serkin Adol Nupe Abdullahi Idris, who is distinguishable by his traditional regalia, including his horses that are specially decorated. Just like the horses and their riders in the special procession, there were various traditional musicians, drummers, and dancers. The Bariki celebrations was earlier addressed by the Niger State Governor Abubakar Sani Bello, who was represented by the Commissioner for Culture and Tourism, Daniel Sunday Kolo.
At the moment, the governor is developing a cultural calendar, which is a foundation to showcase our cultural activities.
The Etunupe Alhaji Aya Abubakar used the occasion to admonish the people to make sure that they have registered and have collected their permanent voter card in readiness for active participation in the 2019 general elections.
Not in a near distance, they will go out to vote. So pray Almighty Allah to give us a peaceful election, free and fair and credible election.
Commend the Bagabesi for uplifting our culture.
The royal procession on horseback is usually preceded by royal homage of solidarity to the Etunupe by district heads, traditional title holders, senior public servants, chairmen of local government councils in Bidda Emirate, and traditional leaders of various ethnic groups. On the whole, the Bariki celebrations is observed 5 days after the two major Eid prayers, the Eid el-Fitr and the Eid el-Kabir.
Impressive way to mark the festival of sacrifice. And keeping with the memories of the Eid el-Kabir, it happened in a big way in the Zauzau Emirate. Sagir Mohammed Awal describes the celebration as colorful and prestigious. Watch this.
Hawan Doshi is a gathering that brings together people from all walks of life to the ancient city of Zaria to witness the pomp and celebration by horsemen, dance groups, and handcrafted musical instruments, among other traditional displays.
It is a gathering that fosters relationships because it brings people's various groups of Zazzau Emirates and their friends from other parts of the country and indeed other foreign countries as well to come and celebrate with us.
Hawan Doshi serves as a recreational platform for both residents and visitors.
I do hope that our people will continue to join heads together, more especially in the maintenance of security.
We have done the Salah celebration peacefully, and we pray to Almighty Allah continue giving us help.
It's a very nice tradition, and it keeps people together, you know.
Hawan Doshi is an annual tradition that you will not want to miss.
That was indeed a splendid affair. Sons and daughters of Ijebuland in Ogun State converged in their thousands on the ancient town for the annual Ojidioba festival, usually held days after the Eid el-Kabir celebration, to pay homage to the Awujale and paramount ruler of Ijebuland, Oba Sikiru Adetono. Mohammed Adebowale brings us the thrills and frills of the annual festival.
It is an annual cultural festival. The Ojudioba, Nigeria's rich cultural heritage and indeed that of Ijebu, were colorfully displayed to the admiration of sons and daughters of Ijebu land from within and outside the country, including tourists with pomp and pageantry. As usual, the 8th grades called Regbe Regbe turned out in their number to show off in what ended up a competition of sorts. The Baloguns, representing different traditional families, rode in their horses to pay homage to the Awujale, who in splendor acknowledged cheers from the groups. The Baloguns are descendants of Ijebu war heroes and in their characteristic manner heralded their entry into the arena through intermittent gun salutes. The indigenous telecom giant, Globacom, official sponsor of the festival, was again how to reward not only loyal customers, but the people at the ceremony through a raffle draw. The winner of the draw, Ayodele Dada, went home with a brand new Hyundai Saloon car, courtesy Globacom Limited.
I just bought the tickets and I wasn't thinking I'll win. In fact, this is my first time of coming to Ojudioba, despite the fact that I've been living in Ijebu for 18 years. I only came because a friend dragged me. I didn't think I'll win. I'm really very excited right now.
The climax of this year's festival featured a musical concert where up-and-coming artists who are taking the music scene by storm displayed their talents. Miss Ojudioba Beauty Pageant also produced a 19-year-old Adeye Aminat Ololade as the current champion for the 2018 edition.
I would like to visit the orphanage homes, put a smile on children's faces. Thank you very much. I'm grateful, I appreciate. God bless them. God bless Ijebu.
Another successful Ojudioba festival. It gets better every year. From one festival to another, the people of Ado-Ekiti converged on the palace of the Ewi of Ado-Ekiti to celebrate this year's Idiroko festival. It is an annual event for stock-taking and planning for the year. Olatubosun Fagbemi examines the importance of the Idiroko festival to the people.
Idiroko Festival is a yearly non-fetish festival in Ado-Ekiti, which brings the sons and daughters of the community home and abroad to showcase and celebrate their rich cultural heritage.
1st January is the first day of the month in a year. And so Idiroko is our own first day in Ado-Ekiti history.
I do not think there's one other festival that brings the whole town together like this festival.
Dressed in gorgeous traditional attire with pomp and pageantry, sons and daughters of the community throng the palace arena to thank God for preserving their lives for another year. Notable amongst them is the governor, Peter Ayodele Fayoshe, who is the chief host, Are Afe Babalola, traditional rulers and captains of industry.
We have recorded a lot of successes that gladdens our hearts, that we can come and celebrate Kabisi for.
Let outsiders come to Nigeria and see that we are advanced state culturally.
The highlight of the event is the presentation of the ancient drums to Oba Dr. Rufus Adeyemo Adejugbe Aladesomi, the third by the Eye Shoron, the king's wife, and other Oloris.
In the olden days, the drums are the only entertainment that happens during the festival.
There are lots of side attractions which include the reaffirmation of loyalty by the chiefs and the war chiefs. Some guests expressed their impressions on the ceremony and the need to preserve our rich culture.
Tourism is a very vital instrument to promote peace.
Something that every member of the state, even from all other parts of the country, will come and witness and see how beautiful our culture is.
Indeed, Udi Iroko Festival has become an indispensable source of inspiration and great value to all Ado Ekiti indigents, the guests, and indeed the world.
Away from the Salah celebration, last month, July to be precise, members of a family were thrown into turmoil. One of their 3 kids, a 4-year-old, had disappeared during a church service. That same day, they reported the incident to the police and the waiting game began. No one called for ransom. Last week, however, the little girl was found in another town. This report will explain better. The timeline started on Sunday, the 8th of July. The Ogidis showed up in church as usual. There was a Thanksgiving in the children's section. During the service, the house help claimed she left the 3 children in her care for a couple of minutes in order to get their share of the Thanksgiving cake. When the domestic staff returned, 4-year-old Elo was missing among her siblings. A search began immediately. It was fruitless. Someone in the crowd said a woman had covertly taken Elo away. By the next day, Elo's traumatized parents, Afoko Gene and Rita Ogidi, concluded that their daughter had been kidnapped. The incident was reported to the Lagos Police Command. 4 days later, the Ogidis were yet to get a call for ransom. The press got involved at this point. Headlines were popping up about a missing child who was allegedly abducted by a faceless woman during a church service. Elo's parents, church members, and friends posted photos and touching captions on social media, calling for leads and clues. Not too long, crank callers and fraudsters took advantage of the family's pain. Calls for money for Elo's release kept coming from imposters who could not provide proof of life of the missing child in their custody. The lowest was a young lady who made posts claiming to have seen Elo. After she got social media attention, she confessed that she had no knowledge of Elo's whereabouts, admitting to astounded followers that she lied in order to gain following and cyber popularity. This insensitivity was among reasons why celebs took up the case of the missing child. Don Jazzy, Banky W, Laura Ikeji, Sisi, and topping the list, Nikki Laoye joined the search party on social media. Their followers reposted. The search went global. Then, one day, Elo's dad got a curious call. A lady in Benin claimed she had seen the face of the child whose photo was everywhere in an orphanage in Benin City, Edo State. Elo's dad requested a video call. What do you know? This was not the usual dead end. And on Friday, 24th of August, he beheld his daughter on his phone screen. Elo was alive. It was a day to remember. Social media was lit. Celebs and their fans celebrated the return of the child who disappeared during a church service 5 weeks ago.
You guys don't get to see me like this, but I've been crying for hours since Elo's father called to tell me that she had been found.
The relief notwithstanding, there are many questions begging for answers. Who abducted Elo? Why was she taken away? How did she end up in an orphanage 3 hours' drive from where she was taken? We intend to solve these puzzles in an update. The case is still shrouded in mystery. We hope to tie loose ends soon. Our next segment features celebrations of life and unions. Stay tuned. The entertaining details will come after this break. Welcome back. She was born 90 years ago. The journey through the years have been bittersweet. However, she impacted lives, not just her family, but the society at large. For her service to humanity, people from all walks of life showed up at the Church of Assumption, Falomo in Lagos to celebrate her birth. Who am I talking about? It is the matriarch of the Elumelu family, Chief Mrs. Susan Elumelu. Hingino John Adams was there for Newsline.
The congregation wishing Mama Susan Elumelu a happy birthday and celebrating her as she joins the League of Non-Nigerians. The matriarch of the Elumelu family defied all odds and went to the house of God to show appreciation for the journey so far, because for her, old age is not all about weakness, but a blessing from God. Rendition by the choir as a way of worship filled the atmosphere. Done with the Thanksgiving service, the train of celebration headed for the reception where guests were entertained with sumptuous meals, drinks, and music by popular Nigerian artists. Mama could not resist the melody of the music as our camera captured her rocking it her own way. The matriarch of the Elumelu family was overwhelmed.
I thank God I will continue to praise Him and worship Him till end of my life.
A true Nigerian you can call Mama because she speaks Hausa, Yoruba, and Igbo fluently. Her children have this to say about her.
She went through thick and thin to make sure we go through education, and here we are today because of our efforts.
She believes in happiness, she believes in bearing no grudges, and I think that's the reason why she is 90.
Happy birthday, Mama. More healthy years.
We're celebrating a woman, a virtuous woman, a good mother.
Mama, up till now, she still makes me plantain pudding, which is really nice. It's called upogede in our language. And she cooks like you can't cook for her. You can't even cook better than her.
Traditional rulers and other guests showered encomiums on her.
My wish for her is that God Almighty Allah will grant her good health, long life.
It's a woman of substance. It's a home builder. It's a woman of enterprise.
For their mother to have lived up to 90 years, they too have lived in peace.
Mama Susan Elumelu is blessed with 5 children, many grand and great-grandchildren.
She looks mighty good for 90. Congratulations and best wishes to the matriarch. It was a day of fulfillment for the Commissioner of Police in Anambra State, Garuba Baba Umaru, when he gave out his daughter, Nana, in marriage. Tina Toro, who covered the wedding fatia in Zaria, reports that the event attracted personalities from all walks of life. Welcome back. The wedding between Kehinde Lydia Adefulere and Honorode Reginald Aziza drew large crowds from across the world to Lagos. Annie Daniels reports that the bride is a daughter of the senior special advisor to the president on Millennium Development Goals, Adejoke Orelukwe Adefulere.
That procession by daughter and father heralded the holy matrimony between Kenny and Reginald. It was indeed a sight to behold. Guests, including the wife of the vice president, Mrs. Dolapo Shibajo, witnessed the exchange of vows and wedding bands.
To love and to cherish until we are parted by death, according to God's holy law. This is my solemn vow.
Within the love of God, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit.
The priest, Right Reverend Dapo Ashaju, gave the couple some advice.
Don't look at the way others are doing. You must keep according to the word of the Lord. This is the way by which you will find sure success and make your way prosperous.
Now time to sign the dotted lines. With smiles on their faces, you can tell it is a day the duo have been looking forward to. Kenny and Reginald let Newsline into what attracted them to each other.
We're both lawyers. We met at a conference in Lagos, and it was love at first sight, I guess. He is extremely understanding, so I don't think there'll be any problems in terms of, being together, living together.
I think it's a very happy day for her, for me, for all of us, really, and this is why we're here today. And I just hope that the smiles and the happiness would continue for the rest of our life.
Their parents and loved ones could not wish them less.
They should not keep malice, and they should not hold grudge. If there's any issue, the second day, couples should resolve it.
The hand of God will be upon them. The home that God has built for them today will be permanent in the name of Jesus.
Prosper them physically, spiritually, and materially.
I've been married to my wife for 38 years. I expect them to do the same. No quarrels, they should live together happily.
If you make yourself look happy, if you find happiness between difficulties, you will be looking younger, like ourselves.
Afterwards, all roads led to a breathtaking reception, and it was again a roll call of who is who in society. And everybody had enough to eat and drink. Straight on, the couple cut their cake.
That was a lovely wedding party. God bless the new Mr. and Mrs. Social media platforms like Facebook, WhatsApp, Twitter, and Instagram have become acceptable bridges that simplify interactions. However, some people consider them distractive. They also cause conflicts among intimate couples. Now tell me, would you delete your social media account to save your relationship or marriage? Elizabeth Ewuga reports.
The social media is one of the places friendships are formed, memories are created, and business is given a lift. It is also a place where people see and share photographs for various reasons. However, when it comes to relationships, there are twists. If left uncontrolled, this twist could cause rift in spousal relationship. So we ask, would you delete your social media account to save your relationship?
I can't delete my social media account.
Yeah, depending on the kind of relationship. If he's a husband, I will, to save my marriage.
If maybe WhatsApp or whatever will make my house scatter, I can do without it.
Why not? Of course, because I want to save my marriage.
Going off social media is not the best.
If not, why?
Because I know enter your own social media, so me mind your own business, so me too I will mind my own business.
A healthy relationship with your partner would not require you to delete your social media accounts.
You don't need to do that because in marriage they say 1 + 1 is equals to 1.
And why would anyone want his or her spouse to delete a social media account?
So he might be a jealous type. You know, he might decide, oh, you are talking too much, you're spending more time in social media. He may not even be having time because you're chatting with men or females, or you're talking about men or boyfriend, anything. Maybe because of too much time you're spending to do it than to do the needful at home.
He might have seen something on my Facebook account that will make him to tell me to quit.
The latest trend is the issue of children blocking parents from seeing the activities on social media.
Sometimes it's necessary. They see you texting, you're online, they literally stalk you. And they want to know when you're online, why you put this picture here, why there's a
okay, like Snapchat filters, for example, you take a picture and then they're wondering, why is that flower on your head? And some parents won't tell you it's witchcraft or something like that, I should remove it. You know, all this kind of stalking is the reason why people block their parents on social media.
This is a wrong attitude in the first instance, if you look at it critically. So, blocking the parents that from the root you'll be raising. So, automatically, there is a clause. They are trying to hide something from the parents.
Let me use the word that some parents have actually spoiled their kids. You know, they did not teach them anything that, you know, and they are not doing some rubbish on the media. That's what they don't want their parents to actually see. That's why they are blocking their parents. And funny enough, if I should block my mom, I'm in soup.
It means that kid is not straightforward. He's doing something that is terrible. For you to block your parents.
So, Becky, tell me, if you are in this kind of dilemma to delete your social networking account, lose all the friends you have reconnected over the years, or lose your home, what will you do?
Why put me in a corner, Elizabeth? Oh well, the jury will remain out on that one, to delete or not to delete. Toe the line of peace. Peace is always cheaper and blissful. Moving on, the Administrative Staff College of Nigeria, ASCON, in Topo Badagry, is a training center for technocrats in diverse fields. From the civil service to the organized private sector, professionals gather from time to time in order to brainstorm and exchange ideas for optimum productivity. The management of NTA Lagos Network Center were in a retreat at ASCON that served this objective. Paul Mukago reports.
How do you handle an exclusive class of well-read and highly exposed management team who are leaders in their own right? Resource person and Director of Studies, Department of Leadership Development, ASCON, Boma Akiojemi, came to terms with this when she handled a comprehensive lecture on leadership. She stressed that qualities a leader must possess should basically border on their positive influence on subordinates. It was an interactive session between lecturer and her students. I mean, top management staff of NTA Lagos Network Center.
Achieving the task. What do you mean achieving the task? Being result-oriented. Yes. So, you know, NTA was established for a reason.
The outcome was an abstract of what leadership in the broadcast industry entails. Apart from identifying challenges and how to overcome them, the group acted on maintaining effective relationship with players in the industry while acknowledging healthy competition.
It was quite participatory. The NTA staff heard their views. It was quite interactive.
We have a vision. We have to make it better. We are in a competitive era. We must try our best to remain afloat. That is why I think exercise of this nature is needed.
Looking into the issue of leadership, we are able to look at how we can build a team that is bringing together everybody in an organization, no matter what level you are, to achieve the success, or achieve the goals that you intend.
We're looking at programming. We're looking at good production. We're looking at starting from the very beginning, the program idea.
After the lecture, the management staff led by the Zonal Director of Lagos Network Center, Pius Oje, deliberated on how to develop TV content in order to attract more viewership. Other parameters for growth and viability of any given structure were discussed.
We are going to look into the programs, the ones that need to be stepped down and the ones we need to improve on because of our limited resources. We will do.
Conduct a proper audience research that will tell us, for example, what is important to the audience that we are reaching as the Lagos Network Center.
There's no time we meet in Nigeria that we don't train our personnel on what we know and what they need to know. Sometimes we need to go out and get this external training.
Leaving the confines of their offices and day-to-day administrative and managerial responsibilities for the retreat at ASCON, participants say the interlude was worth the while.
I don't believe any zonal center has done this before, and it should be encouraged. It should actually be done from time to time to enable management come out here in a serene environment such as this and take decisions that will move the center forward.
We are going back to tell the staff that
We have done evaluation. We need to seriously put our thinking cap on to be sure that we are doing what we are supposed to do.
I've known a little bit about marketing. Basically, I'm more knowledgeable about how to run the affairs of NTA.
I think one major thing I'll be taking away from this place is the ability of functioning as a team.
Participants promise to channel the knowledge acquired into the running of the Lagos Network Center, Channel 10, and educational television, also in Lagos.
Yes, learning is a continuous process. On to the next. The people on queue are professionals. They are bankers, website designers, singers, fashion designers, name it. But they all have one thing in common that unifies them and also makes their story inspiring. Elizabeth Omoriu is our guide.
This is a vocational training center in Oshodi for the blind. It was established in 1956 by the Federal Nigerian Society for the Blind for the purpose of rehabilitation and training of the blind and visually impaired.
These are blind and visually impaired persons who were not born with the condition. Unfortunately, they all have different stories to tell. Taiwo Adebayo is a graduate of mass communication, a wife and a mother.
I got blind 2016, and the causes of the blindness is retinal detachment. After my third surgery, I lost the sight. So anytime I hear people say my daughter is beautiful, I will feel so bad because I could not see her. But being blind and a mother, I thank God I have close relative. That's my mom and my husband stood by me, so they don't make me to have any feelings that I'm blind.
Although they have sad tales, but this hasn't deterred them from achieving their goals. This vocational training facility by the Federal Nigerian Society for the Blind, a non-governmental organization, is saddled with the responsibility to rehabilitate, feed, train and equip blind and visually impaired persons. The trainees are taken through various vocational skills such as beading, tying and dyeing of local fabrics, computer training, music, soap making and basket weaving.
Before we scatter the folding, we firstly put it into first color so that that dye will show the design that we put it. Like the one that we are doing now, we are going to dye it before we the wax all this candle.
Here is Mr. Yekini. He has been blind since he was 3. He is a music expert who worked with the Lagos State Ministry of Education for 35 years. Guess what? He actually taught Kobams how to play the keyboard.
I play various instruments. Trumpet, keyboard, quite a few of them. As a teacher, you must be able to play some of these things. And when I came back from Scotland, my job was waiting for me.
He also dazzled me with these tunes. And who says there's no ability in disability? We also visited the library at the facility and we met Suraj reading a news publication.
The birth of the newspaper in 1995 can be traced to the disappearance of many newspapers.
For those of you who don't like to read, here is a challenge.
So we just want the federal government to come in now and assist us, either through the Federal Ministry of Social Development and Women Affairs.
We need a lot of funding. Putting a place like this together is not an easy task. They learn things called daily living skills. So you'll be surprised, blind people can actually cook, they can iron, they can, take care of a flat, they can do all the things that able people can do.
At the end of our visit at the center, members of the music class entertained us with this performance.
Trouble sleep,
Amazing abilities, very impressive. Our last break is on cue. Let's take it.
Nigerians. Suicide bombers are not spirits. They are not ghosts. They are human beings like you and me. They live amongst us. They are your neighbors. They are your friends today, but terrorists tomorrow. So you must know your neighbor now. Security begins with you and me. Know your neighbor. Be vigilant. Be security conscious. Report suspicious persons, objects, and movements to the police and other security agencies. The security of our nation is a duty for you and me.
If you see something, say something. Nigeria, unite against terrorism. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
It was a gathering of jurists, serving and retired members of the bar and the bench, as well as dignitaries from all walks of life at the Oyo State capital to celebrate the life and times of late Justice Pius Aderemi. Femi Afolabi reports that the week-long program of activities was a celebration of life well spent.
The holy books, perhaps, have summarized man's sojourn on life by saying there is time to be born and time to die. For late Justice Pius Aderemi, both times have come to pass, and it is time for those he left behind as friends and families to celebrate the life and time of the erudite jurist. The four-day event began with a honor from the deceased constituency, the judiciary, with a special court session and tributes by the Nigerian Bar Association.
He motivated us in Oyo State, he encouraged us, and he impacted on us and led us in the legal odyssey.
And yet, the procession to St. Joseph's Catholic Church in Keado for the funeral service was carnival-like.
When a righteous man dies, you shall see and witness the gathering of integrous men. You shall see and witness the gathering of eminent jurists, legal luminaries, and above all, pious men.
He lived a very fulfilling life, and he's left a quintessential legacy.
So I can say that he was a father to me, and he was also a mentor.
Caring, loving, kind, intelligent. That it was a combination of many things.
A special Thanksgiving service wraps up the celebration of the life and time of the jurist.
God's grace, what I intend to do is continue with all that endeavor which he had in Catholic Church.
Late Justice Pius Aderemi was an alumnus of University of Lagos, where he studied and practiced law for decades before his elevation to the Oyo State High Court bench and later the Supreme Court. A recipient of the National Honors of Commander of the Order of the Niger, late Justice Aderemi died at age 79.
May his soul rest in perfect peace. Amen. And that's Newsline tonight. Thank you for watching. Join us next week for an even bigger package of the program. For me, it's good night and God bless Nigeria.